Welcome back to World Cinema Library.
Hi guys, welcome back. Today we are looking at Lone Survivor, a war survival film that places us inside one of the most dangerous military missions in the mountains of Afghanistan. The film opens by showing the extreme discipline and physical endurance required to become a Navy SEAL, immediately creating respect for the soldiers before the mission even begins. Soon, 4 highly trained men are sent deep into enemy territory to locate a dangerous Taliban leader through a secret reconnaissance operation. At first, everything looks controlled, but the isolated mountain landscape slowly creates tension around them. Communication becomes difficult, every movement becomes risky, and the silence itself starts feeling threatening. The film carefully builds suspense before the first major attack, allowing the audience to understand the seriousness of the mission. Instead of rushing directly into gunfire, it first creates emotional connection with the soldiers and their brotherhood, giving a strong emotional base before the brutal survival struggle begins. The story follows 4 Navy SEAL members, Marcus Luttrell, Michael Murphy, Danny Dietz, and Matthew Axelson, who were sent into the mountains of Afghanistan for Operation Red Wings, a mission to identify and eliminate a Taliban commander hiding in a remote village. After reaching the high mountain area, they carefully begin surveillance while staying hidden among rocks and trees. For a short time, everything goes according to plan, but suddenly local goat herders discover their position. The soldiers face a critical moral decision: kill the civilians and protect the mission, or release them and risk exposure. Choosing humanity over violence, they let the villagers go, knowing the danger this decision may create. Very soon, their fear becomes real, because Taliban fighters begin surrounding the mountain from every direction. With communication failing and no support reaching them, the team realizes they are trapped in hostile territory with almost no escape route. What follows is an intense survival battle as heavy gunfire erupts across the steep mountain slopes. The 4 soldiers fight with extraordinary courage, using every rock and narrow path as protection, while waves of armed fighters attack continuously. The terrain itself becomes an enemy, forcing them to fall, roll, and crash down dangerous cliffs while trying to stay alive. Despite severe injuries, each soldier continues fighting for the others, showing strong brotherhood under impossible pressure. Michael Murphy risks his own life by stepping into open ground to send an emergency signal, fully aware that enemy bullets can hit him at any second. His desperate call finally reaches the military, but the enemy attack becomes even more aggressive before help can arrive. One by one, the team members suffer critical injuries, yet none of them stop resisting. The film presents each moment with brutal realism, showing how survival depends equally on courage, pain, and loyalty. A rescue helicopter is finally sent toward the mountain, carrying additional soldiers, but Taliban fighters strike it with a rocket before landing, causing a devastating explosion in the air. This destroys the last immediate hope for rescue and leaves Marcus Luttrell completely alone after losing his entire team. Injured, exhausted, and barely able to move, he escapes deeper into the mountain while enemy fighters continue hunting him. Eventually, he is discovered by local villagers who decide to protect him according to their traditional code of honor, even though helping him puts their own lives at risk. The Taliban soon arrive at the village demanding that Marcus be handed over, but the villagers refuse and stand against them. After a tense wait, US forces finally receive his location and launch a final rescue operation. Marcus survives and returns home carrying the painful memory of every man he lost, making the story both a war film and a tribute to sacrifice. Mark Wahlberg carries the film strongly as Marcus Luttrell, presenting the hero not as an unstoppable action figure, but as a soldier whose fear, pain, and determination all remain visible throughout the mission. His performance becomes more powerful during the survival portions, where physical suffering and emotional shock are shown with convincing realism. Taylor Kitsch as Michael Murphy gives one of the most memorable performances, especially in the scenes where leadership and sacrifice become central to the story. Emil Hirsch as Danny Dietz adds vulnerability and sincerity, making the audience feel the human side of the soldier behind the uniform. Ben Foster, as Matthew Axelson, brings intensity, toughness, and battlefield urgency in every major combat moment. Together, the four lead actors create believable brotherhood, making their friendship feel natural instead of cinematic. The supporting characters also strengthen the emotional weight of the film, especially the military officers who appear during planning and rescue communication scenes, where tension is built through responsibility rather than action. The Afghan villagers who later protect Marcus become extremely important because their quiet courage changes the emotional direction of the story. Among them, the village elders' calm but fearless presence gives the film an unexpected human depth during its final section. The Taliban fighters are not written as dramatic individual villains, but as a dangerous collective threat, which keeps the focus on survival rather than personal rivalry. Because of this approach, the film's emotional power remains centered on the soldiers and the people who choose humanity during war. Overall, the acting department succeeds because every major character serves the realism of the story without unnecessary exaggeration. Peter Berg directs Lone Survivor with a strong, realistic approach, making the story feel grounded and emotionally heavy from the beginning. He avoids unnecessary cinematic exaggeration and instead keeps the focus on military discipline, brotherhood, and the seriousness of the mission. The opening portions are paced carefully, so the audience first understands the soldiers before the danger fully arrives. Even when the battle begins, his control over the emotional tension remains steady. The film never loses its survival tone because his direction stays committed to realism. This gives the story both cinematic strength and emotional sincerity. Steve Jablonsky provides a background score that supports the film quietly without overpowering the battlefield atmosphere. During action scenes, music often steps back and allows gunfire, radio noise, and heavy breathing to dominate naturally. This sound design makes every bullet impact and mountain echo feel sharper and more immediate. Silence is also used effectively, especially in moments where danger is approaching but not yet visible. The audio department overall helps build pressure around the soldiers continuously. Because of this, the survival experience feels more raw and believable. The cinematography captures the mountain landscapes with both beauty and danger, constantly reminding the audience how isolated the soldiers are. Wide shots establish the harsh terrain, while close combat framing brings physical pain directly into view. The editing keeps the long battle sequence clear, even when multiple attacks happen quickly across rocky slopes. Practical effects and injury makeup are handled convincingly, making every fall and wound look painful and real. Visual effects are used carefully without disturbing the natural tone of the film. Altogether, the technical departments combine to give the film strong visual and emotional impact. Lone Survivor finally stands as a powerful war survival film that succeeds through realism, emotional weight, and strong technical execution. Instead of presenting war only through large-scale action, the film focuses on brotherhood, sacrifice, and the painful cost of a single mission gone wrong. The performances make the soldiers feel human, which gives greater impact to every loss shown on screen. The survival portions are intense because the danger never feels artificial or exaggerated. Direction, sound design, and cinematography all work together to maintain constant tension until the end. At the same time, the film also leaves space for humanity through the villagers who choose courage over fear. Because it is based on real events, the emotional effect remains stronger even after the story ends. IMDb rating, 7.5 out of 10. Don't miss the next movie. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.